Well, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here on this beautiful day with temperature ranging. What's the temperature, Mr. Putnam?
It's below what I can stand.
All right. The temperature is below what Dean Putnam can stand. All right. It's 10:05 and we'll start with public comment on non-agenda items. No comment, all right. Review and approval of meeting notes from November 16th, 2017. You all had an opportunity to review the notes. Do you have questions about the notes? No questions? Suggestions, changes? No? All right.
Did you read them? No kidding.
Do we have a motion to approve the notes?
So moved.
All right. Second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Very good. The meeting notes approved, and we'll move on to information items. Well, the first one is myself. So as you know, the semester is coming to an end. We thank you all for the hard work and for taking good care of our students. I thought this semester went very well, practically no hitch. Let's knock on wood, we still have 2 more days to go, or 3 more days. Enrollment for winter intersession is going very well. My understanding from Dr. Junie is that we are at about 40 FTES above where we were last time at the day-to-day comparison, I guess, right? Spring is about the same thing too, we're slightly ahead.
So,
And,
you want me to say, you want me to comment on that?
yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so as of this morning, actually with credit, FTES were about 150 above last winter's.
Yeah, that 150 above last winter.
Above last winter's.
About spring?
Well, spring, we're in regard to FTS estimates, we're only at half of our total. But enrollment obviously is still going strong, and
all right.
Students are still
very good. Yes, I know that is. Thank you very much. Thank the faculty, thank the staff for the hard work, and we are very happy we can make those claims that we're slightly ahead of where we were. And some of the other things also, you know that I think, well, I did mention that to you before, or maybe not. The foundation at their meeting next week, at their general meeting next week, will be voting on a change to the Pasadena City College promise, the PCC promise. As you know, with the new bill signed into law by the governor, that will make the first year of community colleges free, the foundation will be reconsidering the PCC promise. And what the foundation will be voting on as a start is that all students who come to PCC who have graduated from a high school, public or private, within the district and have 30 degree applicable credits, and they make a commitment to take 12 units a semester, 2 consecutive semesters. They can take more, they can take 15, 18, or whatever we accept, right? The foundation will cover their tuition if they don't qualify for free tuition. So it is a start. It may not be perfect, but it is a start, and we do hope that this will help with graduation. And when you're a student and you know you have 30 degree applicable credits, and you say, okay, hey, they're paying for me to take at least 24 units, I can take them 2 semesters. Okay, so that's what the foundation will be voting on. Yes, ma'am?
So you're saying that in high school they had to have taken 13 college credit classes?
No.
No.
There will be a student who comes to PCC who graduated at any point in time from a high school within the district. They may have gone other colleges, but if they have 30 degree applicable units, right, the foundation will cover their tuition if they take 12 units per semester. Okay?
So I think we're moving beyond the requirement they be a first-time student.
Yeah, we're moving beyond the first-time student. You don't have to be a first-time student. You may perhaps have never taken any classes at PCC, but you're a graduate from one of the high schools of the district. Okay? Yes, sir.
How do we determine Do we have a projection as to how many people that might impact?
We don't think it will be much because based on what we have currently,
Right.
for this year, I think it was 149 students only for the PCC Promise.
Mhm.
And my understanding is it didn't cost more than $37,000,
Maybe 100.
maybe 100 for both semesters.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the foundation is ready to cover that, right? And that also will help in many other ways.
Sure.
Okay. So the next, so that's one thing that the foundation will. You know that the foundation had a wonderful event last week. The scholarship, $238,000 for
Wow.
it. Okay, and that is part also that money is coming out of the major gift campaign that the foundation has at this point in time. They're hoping to reach about $15 million. So far, they've reached about $7.5 million. So that's very good. I mean, it's a great thing that the foundation is doing all that. Other than that, I don't think there is anything really exceptional happening. We will be hiring our 20 full-time faculty. We will be slowing down a little bit on some of the other positions to give the incoming president an opportunity to hire his or her staff. The one position that we will continue, because we went out twice already, is the executive director of IT. That one. But the other position, like the vice president of HR, the executive director of facilities, the executive assistant to the college president, we will put a hold on them until the new president comes. We will also slow down a little bit the process of the facilities and educational master plan to give the incoming president an opportunity to give input in that, because the incoming president will be the one that will be, if you want, doing that, accomplishing it, finishing it, once it is established. Okay. That's a little bit about all I have to share with you. I wish you all a very happy, safe holiday season. And thank you. And, the next one is Academic Affairs Update. Dr. Judy.
So, good morning, everyone. So a couple of things, just update on faculty hiring. Job descriptions are being finalized between the committees, the deans, and HR. Those positions will all be open before we go away for the winter break. And then just to give you a little bit more detail on enrollment numbers that Dr. Rudian was talking about. Basically, enrollments are looking good. As of this morning, our winter numbers basically were at 82% fill. We, in regard to numbers of seats, we have 16.5% more than we did last winter. In fact, probably the best way to compare those numbers, as of this morning, we have 17,148 enrollments. Last winter, we had a total of 17,870 seats, so we almost have as many students enrolled at this point as we had seats last winter. And those numbers obviously go up a little bit every day, and so I would expect that we will exceed that. If we reach similar fill rates this winter as we did last winter, with the increase in size, that we would expect to generate about 150 to 200 more FTS from this winter than last winter. And I'll give a little bit more information on that in a sec. Our spring enrollments are actually behind last spring's enrollments if you compare day to day, but that's because we started spring registration last year earlier than we did this year, and so as of this morning with spring, we have 37,700 enrollments. At the same point in time, number of days before the semester starts, we had 54,000 last spring. The size of spring is about 1% larger than last spring. We anticipate that the fill will be very similar. as last spring, and so there is the potential of a little bit more FTS. Actually, 1% of spring is still in the hundreds of FTS more that we will generate from that. Estimates based on where we are with the amount of FTS that we have generated through summer 17, fall 17, and now the estimates for winter and spring. We should nearly reach base and growth for this coming year. We will need to pull from summer about 1,000 FTS. Last year we had to pull a little bit over 700 from summer, so we'll have to pull a little bit more than that. But we should have no problem generating that between winter, spring, and early summer. So enrollments look good. Couple of other things I wanted to mention. Last night at the board meeting, there was a very large package of curriculum that was approved. I don't have the specifics of number of courses, etc., but it was over a 100-page document that the board had basically to look at. So quite a number of new courses, modified courses, deletions, also some new programs. New programs include an ADT and early child education, and also 3 engineering degrees, not ADTs because those aren't available yet, but so those are just some of the highlights. Also, the board approved the hiring of a director of professional development. Dr. Jason Robinson will be starting on January 3rd, and so we're very excited about that.
Okay. And maybe one more thing that probably Dr. Judy could have mentioned is the State Chancellor's Office has created some new top codes for social justice. Social justice in Chicano studies, social justice in sociology, I believe, social justice in ethnic studies.
They developed a total of 4 new top codes under the social justice category.
You didn't know about it?
No, you sent it to me.
Yeah, and so I guess what I would add to that is that there are faculty in the social science division that are developing both a social justice ADT and also global studies, which are both 2 areas that basically we are required to develop, and so I would say I don't know exactly where we are on that. I know that through the curriculum process that we just finished, there were a number of courses, new courses that were approved specifically for those 2 associate degrees of transfer. So I would imagine that the degrees will be coming to CNI probably this coming spring.
Okay, well I would urge faculty and staff to work hard on getting that as quickly as possible, especially given our area where we are here in Pasadena and the surrounding areas, right? And we're very strong in those fields. All right, okay.
Those will be wonderful additions to the degrees that we offer.
Right.
I was doing a little research last night while the board meeting was going on, and identified all of the associate degrees of transfer that we don't have that are potentials, and so I will be working with faculty and deans to address those various areas. I already started that conversation with our philosopher over here, because that is one of the areas that we do not have an associate degree transfer, and so I think there are a number of areas that we could help serve students better by developing some of the missing associate degrees of transfer.
All right. Very good.
And that will help us, after you leave, to become #1 in the state in awarding associate degrees.
Yeah, fine. You can be #1 anytime you want, and I would always support you.
Because both the college that beat us, Diablo Valley, and the college that we tied with, Moore Park, they have considerably more associate degrees for transfer for their students than
Don't mention Moore Park to me, okay?
A
A school which is 1/3 our size,
But they have 29.
producing the same number of degrees.
They have 29
As we
associate
are.
degrees for transfer. We only
All right,
have
so that's not a
21.
good sign.
I'll provide an antidote to that. Two students in my women in literature course, which is social justice based, told me one drives from Santa Monica to come here, and the other one moved here from the Sacramento area, just for the offerings that we have here in literature and other departments.
No, I understand that part, but my problem is, if a school that is 1/3 our size is granting the same number of degrees that we are, we have a problem.
Oh, for sure.
We have a big problem.
Well, we can get more from
We have a lot of work to
do.
The raw numbers, though, are not impressive across the board. They only beat us by 24 degrees.
Yeah.
24 total awarding of degrees.
We can certainly
They
be
have-
more competitive.
They awarded
Students are looking
124, we awarded 80.
Here's a school with 30,000 students, and Moorpark has 13, 1-3, all right? And they awarded the same number of degrees. So, I don't know, a bit of a David and Goliath. Let's move on to student affairs update. Dr. Olivo.
I'll start at enrollment also. Our application for admission for fall 2018 is open, and I have some notes. Please encourage students to apply. If you know any high school seniors, they can begin doing that. We've set up all of our communications to auto-generate once applications are submitted. We're preparing for grade posting, so please urge your faculty colleagues to get their grades in on time. It is critical because of the winter intersession. Any student on financial aid, we cannot award their funding until we get grades. So,
Dr. Olivo, may I stop you and ask a question right now?
yes.
I saw an email yesterday where the union was asking Dr. Juni to clarify when grades are due, that there was a confusion amongst faculty as to whether grades are due 3 days after finals or 3 days after the end of the semester. Could we clarify that so that it can go on record as having been clarified at College Council, so that there is no confusion?
That's a good point.
Okay, so the message that goes out from admissions and records at the beginning of the term, there is all the dates that basically will occur during that time. And the message that went out from admissions and records this semester indicates that all final grades are due online 3 days after your last class meeting, which should be the final. And so based on this, it's 3 days.
No,
after
you
the
say
last
which
class.
should be the final, but we don't know because it's at the last class meeting.
The last class
In
meeting.
many classes don't have a final on the last day.
Well, if they're a lab class or something of that sort, that would be
right. So
true.
it would be the last.
But
Let's
it's the
stick
last-
with what it says. The last
class.
class
It's the
meeting.
last class meeting.
Huh?
All classes have a final.
Not all have finals.
Which ones?
There are many classes that don't have finals. They have a project due. They have.
Oh, I see.
They go over a final exam that they have given the day before or the week before, and that I can assure
But they
you.
have a,
So we get paid
They're
2
scheduled.
hours to meet on finals week, and some people are not sure.
My understanding is that not all classes are finals.
Mhm.
That's what I was told because that's what I was told. I mean, I have the same concern that you
You mean
have,
a final exam?
Dr. Foster.
But what
They don't have a final exam on the final last class
Well,
meeting.
I mean, it doesn't concern me that they don't have a final exam.
We're all required to meet.
Right, well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So if we're required to
Just
The
meet.
you don't
meet,
have to
yes.
have
There's
an
a
exam.
no. The class meets,
Yeah.
but this is not a final. They don't give a
But
final.
it's during finals week.
Yes,
It's not the
yes.
final
No.
week.
It's the last class meeting day, which is the last week,
Right.
which could be today. But it doesn't mean that they will be giving an exam on that day.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we were saying.
I don't think
Okay.
they meet.
Huh?
I don't think they meet.
I thought they did.
We're required to.
That was
In
told
English
they
department,
did.
we're told we have to meet. We meet.
Well,
They
in that
are-
case, I will
they
ask
are- they are
the
required.
vice president, Dr. Junie, to work with his deans to ensure that all classes are meeting the last week of the semester
Well, that
on
is-
that.
that is the message
scheduled
that goes
date.
out.
Yeah.
That is the message that goes out.
Mhm.
They are required to meet. They are not required to give a final.
No.
That's
They're
up-
not required to give, they
that's
have to
up
meet.
them.
Yeah.
Right. So, but It's not as simple as what I just said.
Okay.
Because I have been provided by the association a copy of earlier communications that went out. And so the one I have here is from spring of 2016, for which...
I thought we are in 2017 right now. So what are you referring to communication from spring of 2016?
Because this is why, so the email that you're referring to, this is why the grievance officer is indicating there is confusion, because we've changed what we used to do. Because
what do you mean we changed what we used to do? You're referring to an email dating back to 2016.
What did it say?
Will you let me finish?
Yeah.
It says that final grades for spring are due online from the end of the course through May 11th of 2016 for 16-week courses. And if you look at the 15-16 calendar, May 11th was 3 days after the end of the semester. And so there are not inconsistent communications going out right now. The communications from A&R and the communications from the dean is exactly as I said before. The grades are due 3 days after your final class meeting.
Yeah.
What the issue is that that's a change to what we did in spring of 2016.
Okay, let me, the counter to that is we can always check every semester to see what communication went out. Because one sparrow doesn't a summer make.
Right. But
what was the rationale for the change?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was hoping that Susan Bricker was going to be here today because she did have something on the agenda. But anyway, I will reach out to Susan Bricker to find out when we changed this message and what the rationale was.
And I can ask her.
What Suzanne Anderson indicated that she's hearing from faculty in English and other disciplines where there's significant writing that's coming in at the end, and if you have 3 or 4 classes where there's significant writing, 3 days after the final might be an issue to be able to complete your grades. And so,
it is.
and so.
Okay. All right.
We're also implementing Lexmark, which is a service to students with coursework from external colleges. At this point in time, the process is when a student completes 15 units at PCC, that is when they get an evaluation of their external transcripts. We want to change that so that we can get them an evaluation right when they start. That way students will know which courses they need to take.
If there's nothing to evaluate?
The courses from external.
Transferring students. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
We also have $125,000 of undocumented student emergency aid to distribute to our DACA students. This Saturday, Melva Alvarez volunteered to host a Here to Stay event. The information is in the communication Alex Buckelheide sent to the campus. We are working on distributing over $100,000 to full-time students who are receiving the Cal Grant. If they enroll in 15 units or more, they get extra funding. We've also seen an increase in the number of FAFSA completions. That's not FAFSA applications, it's the students who submit their FAFSA who complete it. Counseling has implemented an early alert implementation pilot this fall with over 120 sections and faculty members. We received 7,000 alerts, so it's too much. We're gonna
7,000 alerts.
We're gonna refine that process so that it becomes more manageable.
How would you define the trigger for an alert?
A faculty member could submit an alert if a student's not attending class, if a student's not submitting homework, or if a student is indicating they're on the brink of homelessness, then they submit an alert.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've also implemented a nudging communication tool, and that has increased the number of students who are eligible for graduation. We're really pleased that around 400 students were able to register on the second day due to PCC Complete. Last Friday, we allocated $700,000 to faculty and staff across the campus to host activities with students this year.
Wow, $700,000.
From the student activity
Wonderful.
fee.
Yeah.
Our EOPS care and foster youth programs, we're preparing for our new foster youth center to open up. And so far the foundation has assisted in raising $35,000 for that effort. Our TRIO pre-college programs, which are federally funded, we're facing a current threat from Washington, D.C. and the reduction of funding, so we're doing some advocacy work in that area. We're currently also looking for another funder. We did receive a $1.5 million in scholarship money from the LASIF organization over the past 5 years. They've indicated to us we need to look for a different funder because they're moving on to other projects. Outreach and transfer, they assisted 1,350 students during the last week of November to help them transfer. And Tamika Alexander did attend an award ceremony with Dr. Verdian and myself to receive the award for being the top 5 ADT in the state. And then in special services, I do want to give a shout out. Our own Carol Calandra is here, who's been helping in establishing a great Veterans Resource Center. And Carol, do you want to share the news about the VRC?
They were number
Military,
one.
yeah.
We've been ranked #1 in the nation.
Yay.
In the state of California.
In the state of California.
In the state of California. And I'll share kind of like your issue with Moore Park College. The #1 Veterans Resource Center in the nation is out of Nebraska, where their total enrollment of students is under 4,000 and they have 95 veterans only. So they have beat us, you know. So I feel your pain, but we're extremely pleased to be ranked up there again. And we just can't wait to take that spot over when the new VRC opens. And so,
Remember, we're #1 in the state of California, followed by Norfolk.
yes.
And I do want to say, you know, Carol's been with our program now, from a student worker all the way to now a staff, for the past 9 years. So you've been here from the beginning when we didn't have a center. So congrats.
Carol is known across the state.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I want to mention Carol is publishing a chapter in a textbook. It's the medical, psychosocial, and vocational aspects of disability book. So congrats.
And the biggest thing that you don't know about Carol, Carol is also part of a mentorship program for aspiring college administrators. Right.
And she teaches, she's a part-time faculty at Cal State LA. So great job.
We just like you.
And it was my birthday last Friday.
Happy birthday to you.
If you would
Thank
also
you.
please get the word out if you know any people with MSW. We're hiring an hourly social work services coordinator. It's really great. We've had more and more faculty refer students that are homeless or have food insecurity, but we need somebody to help us with all of that. So it's $37 an hour, 23 hours a week. Please get the word out. I want to say thank you to our Pathways faculty. Sheila, do you want to mention about One Book, One College and the undergraduate research poster conference?
Absolutely. So we had approximately 2,400 students presenting their original research on topics inspired by Dawn and student success. And we had the pilot, our first time that our STEM students were presenting their research also, and that was on November 14th. And then just this past Wednesday on December 6th, we had Town Street Theater, which is kind of the premier African-American theater group in Los Angeles, performing a staged reading of Dawn. And we had 10 to 12 members of Octavia Butler's family in attendance. And they read a very nice statement thanking the college for their efforts to keep Octavia's legacy alive and bring the community and the school's attention to it. And so that was a nice moment. Thank you for all the support for that.
Thank you. We've also had great activities with our Title III STEM grant, which is led by Dr. Foster. Val, do you want to give an update on just like the STEM night activities and the upcoming activities?
A big part of our grant is to build community for the STEM students, the Hispanic and African American students. research shows that they don't always identify with the STEM major easily for a variety of reasons, and so we've been really intentional about giving them opportunities for that. And our big event that just passed was the STEM banquet, which is on December 1st, and we had over 400 students show up, dressed up, and ate a really wonderful meal. And we also, in addition to having just people break bread together, we had a bunch of STEM organizations and professionals come in and talk to them about opportunities that they have for the summer. So anecdotally, they all appreciate that, and it was a success. So thank you.
Thank you. On student equity, we all got the integrated plan together. It'll be going to the board next month, and plans are underway to open the Safe Zone Center in spring. And we want to thank all the faculty and staff who came together to form our former incarcerated student inquiry group. That's going very well. And there's just lots of happy
Dr.
things
Olivo, the
happening.
former incarcerated students, I
Yes.
do believe that earlier this week, the State Chancellor's Office released the names of the schools that were funded for the program.
grant.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of surprised that we didn't apply for that grant.
We did not.
We
You
did
know,
not, yeah.
the college has never had a program or
Right.
services, so this
Right.
is our first foray into that. But next time we will.
Well, but we shouldn't be disappointed in any way, even though we didn't apply. I mean, the big colleges around us didn't get it.
Oh, really?
No, Mount Sac didn't get it, Citrus didn't get it, Glendale didn't get it, Santa Monica didn't get it. They all applied, they didn't get it.
Wow.
They were not eligible.
Wow.
Yeah. But there was a lot of money though, from what I saw.
It was really great, and
Yeah.
our team that went to a meeting, I
Yeah.
think Kathy, you were
I
able
was
to
able
attend
to attend
the Alhambra meeting?
Yeah, but,
But a
I'm
student-
on
Right.
A student joined us,
Oh.
one of our former
Oh.
incarcerated students.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Right. Very good.
so it was really wonderful.
All right.
We're continuing to work on the Welcome Center L building redesign, the multiple measures work group. We submitted our Aspen Prize Award, and we're preparing for professional development for Title IX. So all new students have to get Title IX training, and all faculty. And so lots of fun stuff happening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Speaking of Aspen Award, Carol, when you were talking about the school that is #1 in the nation, the school that won the Aspen Award has fewer students than our engineering division at the college.
Yeah, we're not bitter about, we are not bitter about that.
I feel your pain.
My
Time
joke
to let it go.
we could give them all a hug in the morning and a quesadilla for lunch if we had that many students.
There you go. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Olivo. Business and Administrative Services update.
Yes, Dr. Bernina, I'd like to provide an update on three main areas. One, our annual audit, two, the budget, and three, our facilities. So every year we're required by state law to have an audit performed on our financial situation. It's very important because if there are any findings, it could impact our ability to receive funding, could actually disqualify us for certain grants and federal financial aid. We contract out with an auditing firm called CLA, and they performed our audit over the last few months. They come in before the beginning of the fiscal year, do some preliminary test work, and then after we close the books, they come in and do a detailed analysis of all of our financial operations. And they concluded the audit, presented the audit to the board last night. And it's really excellent news. There's no findings. Our financial statements are fairly presented in their opinion. And that's the second year in a row that we've had a clean audit. So very proud of the fiscal team and all the different areas that have an impact on our financial operations and internal control. Two, the budget. Currently where we are with this year's budget, our operations are in line to be balanced according to our budget. So our budget was a balanced budget, and so far our revenues are in line with our expenses. So we're currently projecting that we're going to complete this year with balanced operations. In January, the governor releases the January release for the budget for the upcoming year, fiscal year 18-19. So I'll be in Sacramento on January 17th to get the most current information, and we'll share that with our Budget and Resource Allocation Committee in January. I'll also provide an update at the next council meeting. From a facility standpoint, our U building, we're moving along.
Dr. Story, don't mention the U building. I will make a statement. I sent Tito to get something about the U building. I will make a statement on that right now. Okay. So just skip that part. I will make a statement on that one.
Okay. That concludes my report.
That's it? Okay, all right. I mean, I want to make a statement on that new building, and so that you all know, and we can be.
I do want to, Richard. Last night, the woman from the company that you mentioned, CLA,
Renee Graves, right.
She said that we are low risk, and it's rare for a college to be low risk. What does that mean?
That means, based on our size, our amount of revenues. So if you look at our total resources, it's over $250 million all funds each year. And for us to not have any findings puts us at a low risk. If we have findings, or if they do an assessment on our internal controls and they find weaknesses, then we would be rated at a higher risk entity. But because of our control structure, our history, we're considered a low risk client.
What that also means is if we are going to borrow money,
we'll pay it back.
Our interest rate will be much lower. Yeah, that's what that also means.
That's great.
But I wanted to share some information about the U building. You all know what happened to the U building. The U building was shut down for seismic deficiencies. Okay? The district made that determination. The board voted on that, right, at the recommendation of what the college administration shared with the board about the state of the building.
About 6 years ago.
Right? That was many years
in the past,
right? At that time when that happened, the district didn't have any money, and the district still does not have money to redo that building. So therefore, the district had to find money to rebuild or replace or do whatever has to be done with the building. The state has several ways of making money available, but there are many criteria that need to be met to receive money at 100%, at 70%, at 50%, at 40%, at 10%. There are many criteria. The college opted to go for 100% funding for seismic deficiencies. Under state code, it falls under what is known as category A-3. Okay? You can go on the Chancellor's website and find that. It's under category A-3, seismic deficiencies. It says when money is borrowed under, not borrowed, when that you accept money from under that, space expansion, that is gross square feet and or assignable square feet, is permissible to address seismic solution or code compliance issues only. No additional scope allowed other than the work required for seismic solution or code compliance mitigation, regardless of funding source. So this is what the district went after. What this also means is that even if we have money that we want to put in there to make it bigger, the answer is no, you can't do that. Even if you say we want to make preparation in the infrastructure so that we can add to it, the answer is no, you can't do that. Okay? So that was what we went under. So the state finally agreed to fund 100% under this and said, that's it, you have to seal the building until we get the funding ready for you. Of course, we don't have to seal the building, we can only open it if we want, right? But we have to use our own fund in that case. At the time that was happening, there was also the idea of going into 3.4.2, which is category B, 3.4.2 category B. That's why the deans and staff and faculty and so on were working with an architectural firm to look at a design. But that was dropped because the district did not have, and still does not have, the additional funds to do it. And at that point, the funding would not be 100%. Okay? So That happened about 5-6 years ago, and a team from the district went to the state, right, to make their presentation under A-3. That's why, now that the state is funding it, everything is coming to light that absolutely no changes can be made in that. It's only to address codes. So even if we say, well, we've grown in that area and we want more classrooms, you can. It's very simple. What we are hoping to do right now is to go along with that A-3, and then later on when the district has funding available through whatever means the district chooses to do so, whether it's borrowing, whether it's a bond measure, whether it's anything else, right? Then the district can build an additional structure for the sciences, just as the district could build new structures for everything else. Okay, I hope this answers many of the questions that were hanging out there, and that this clarifies.
I did have one question, if I may.
Yes.
Because in the write-up it was talking about there were 3, and there are, I've been in them all, 3 elevators in the U building, but now we're only approved for 1.
That was what it was in what was submitted. There was only one
Right.
set of elevators.
Right. And will they or will they not modify that? Doesn't that
I
bump
do
into
not know. That is
ADA
not,
or
I do not
safety?
know.
Or?
No, the state code is very clear.
Okay.
State code is very clear. You need only one set of
elevator.
elevators. One set of elevators only to meet code. That's state
And
code.
hopefully it works when
Well,
the need arises.
Well, we can say, but code is code.
Code is code.
Code is code.
Code is
Okay?
code.
State code says you have only
Right.
one set of elevators
Right.
is required. Okay.
And we're going to work with the Chancellor's office to address issues like that. Code requires only 1 elevator,
Right.
and what the code says is the elevator can't be a certain amount of feet away from each end of the building. So as long,
So, right.
in the replacement building, 1 elevator will meet that requirement, but we do recognize that more than 1 elevator would be more optimal, so
Right.
we will work with the
Right.
Chancellor's office. But if we are successful in getting approval for that, the state won't fund it. It would require us
Right.
to use our general
That's
fund
why the state
resources.
is very careful, because they approved that under A3.
Right.
And the statements for A3 are very
Right.
clear. And the state doesn't want other entities later on to come to the state. So you made an exception to that. That's why they're very careful before they break whatever it is. And our understanding is they have not done so. Okay.
But when you look at it, this is still an excellent opportunity. The state's putting up $63 million for a new building.
Yes.
It may not provide the growth space that we need, but it is a replacement of our existing building. So it will be a state-of-the-art building, even though it's not the right size that we would like it.
Right.
But it will be, identical, replacing what we have
Right.
on the state's dime. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's an excellent opportunity. We do recognize that there is need for additional space,
Right.
and how we can accomplish that is if we, as Dr. Verdi mentioned, if we pass another bond, which is very, we have excellent support from our community. So if and when we do go for a bond, I'm very confident that we have a great chance of getting that. Then we could build another building right next to it, so it's like a
Right.
science hub, that area, to meet the additional
We'll go
needs.
from a science village to a science hub.
Very
And
good.
then,
Okay.
Very
the question comes up, well, if the building is completed in 5 years, and if it's not meeting all of our space needs now, how do we fill that gap? So we still have Science Village. It's valuable swing space. We invested $12 million in that area, 45,000 square feet of assignable square footage. So we still have that as an asset, the district, that we could use as a temporary measure. Really, how the state looks at it is we can only have the swing space in place if we have need for it. And we can support the argument that we do have need for that swing space if we do plan to go after additional funding in the future, have additional renovation, additional new construction on the campus. So in the next 5 years, the building's complete. If we haven't passed a bond by that time, hopefully we would have a plan in place to go after a bond, and that would support keeping the swing space, which would support the programs. So it could be where, once the building is complete, maybe not everyone moves into it until the second building is funded and completed.
So what are the specific space issues as you understand them now?
Specific issues?
Like faculty office space, classroom space that won't meet the current sections that we offer? What do they entail? Because when I talk to different people,
what has happened? What has happened?
Will fit, and some people tell me that
no. What has happened since that building was shut down? Between that time and now, a couple departments have increased their offering.
Right.
Okay, that's all that has happened. So we may not be able to schedule also the sections, additional sections, but as Dr. Story is saying, if the case is made, right, that we will still need the village as a swing space for the construction that will be taking place on campus as soon as money is raised through whatever measure, right, then we can keep that space for some time to offer those additional sections until the new building comes up.
Right. That's a big if, though. And so if that if doesn't happen,
what if are you talking about?
Program.
No, but as he said, that is always going to be there, okay? Because we will say that the district is going to be going towards that, and therefore we will be keeping the village.
A prime example, the college I worked at before coming here, we concluded a bond. We had similar swing space, and we didn't have any other funding, but we knew that it was very likely we would go after a bond. So I worked with the chancellor's office to allow us to keep the temporary structures that we had in place, and eventually we did go after a bond, and we were successful and passed the over $500 million bond. So it was a smart move to keep the swing space.
Right.
Swing space is very expensive. This space here costs $12 million to install. So it's great that we have that asset in place, because if we do pass another bond, we don't have to invest bond funds in temporary space that will eventually go away. We could use them for permanent renovations or new construction.
I was under the impression that that was actually a long-term lease, but you're saying we own that stuff.
Yes.
Yes. That's good news. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Old items, shared governance guidelines. It's you?
Yep, sorry.
Okay.
Section 4. Okay, last time we were here, you asked me to make some adjustments to basically the vacancies and how those are handled. So here is the language that I came up with. Standing committee members shall be appointed by their respective constituent group or by position. That was just a simple one, but here. Selected representatives shall serve for a period of 1 academic year, can be renewed annually by the constituent group they represent. Everything else got crossed out. And then down here is where I made the change in number 7. Selected representatives who miss 3 consecutive meetings or 30% of the total scheduled meetings will be considered inactive, and their position on the standing committee will be considered vacant. Does that meet our needs?
Why do we put the or 30% of the, what if they just miss 3 consecutive meetings, they are gone?
Well, I think is if they miss 2 consecutive meetings,
and then
and then they miss 2
okay,
more.
So
Yeah, all right, the idea was 30%.
Those are the people that want to beat the system.
Yes, there's always a couple. And just to be clear, this will cover those standing committees of college council that are not covered by an administrative procedure.
Everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? Abstention? Good. All right, so we have the new rule. So henceforth, you better count. All right. New items, discussion and possible action. Midterm report, Ms. Rogax.
Hi everyone. The midterm report has been approved by the various constituency groups. It was approved by Academic Senate, Classified Senate, the Executive Board, Management Association. The only group that has not taken a formal vote on it yet is Associated Students, but I did visit them and explain it to them. It was the first read, and I let them know that they needed to contact me by yesterday, essentially, if they wanted any changes. No such contact has occurred. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that they are approving it. So it is in its sort of final state. The only exception to that is the links in the report are not yet active because they're associated with a huge number of files. That's in the version that was sent to you. So the links are becoming active, all the files exist. Obviously, the report itself would be put online. The evidence files would not be put online. If a member of the community wanted the evidence files, they would have to contact the ALO to get those because they're not 508 compliant. So I'm here today just to ask for your approval to be able to send this to the Board of Trustees for its January meeting so that it has adequate time for a first and, if needed, a second read before that March 15th deadline for submission.
Do we have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, thank you very much, Nora Rogashi. You've done a wonderful job, Nora. And I want to thank you in front of your colleagues right here. This is super work that you've done. Thank you. Before we move on to the next item, when you mentioned students, right? There was a very interesting article this past week in the Chronicle of Higher Education on why it is important to have students on committees. Very interesting article, and I think it should be made a mandatory reading for all college administrators and faculty. Very interesting article.
Do you have a link?
Well, we all get free Chronicle now, so.
I'll find it.
Yeah, it's the last. It was the last issue of the Chronicle.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It was on the last page, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. BP AP 7250. Administrator hiring policy and procedure, information only.
Right, here it is. We, was I supposed to take out the definition of administrator?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, that second paragraph is going away.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We're just going to take out that definition.
Because the definition exists already. That's a state definition.
Simple. We just took out basically the language that talked about retain because that really shouldn't be in a hiring policy. It's something we do separately. And then we went to a more generic term of the strategic plan of the college as opposed to the educational master plan because the strategic plan would cover all areas of the college. That's really good. And of course, everything goes through you.
What do I do?
Nothing, you do all good things. Okay, this is the administrator hiring procedure. I'll change that at the top. Okay, so, so we've added some language here. The superintendent, with the approval of the board, may exercise discretion to move and appoint an incumbent permanent administrator to another lateral. This is all basically ed code language that we've now put into the administrative procedure. This was all allowed under ed code. We just never had it in the procedure. We're now putting it in there. The superintendent president has actually always had this ability. We are just now letting everybody know that he has this ability.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's godlike behavior. And then one thing we added here, this is not the right one.
No.
No. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull this back. This is not the right one.
Okay. Well, we'll pull it back and bring it back again in January.
Thought I got the right one, but this is not it. I've not seen the most recent version.
This is not the most recent version?
No.
No, it's not.
It's not.
All right, so we'll bring it back. Okay, all right.
Yes, okay, thank you.
There
Sorry
goes
about
our
that.
72. Well, that's 7.
But we can move the BP forward because I want to take it to the board subcommittee.
Okay, all right. So the BP would be okay, all right. How about the other one? Performance evaluation of administrators, 7150.
Okay, yes. Well, a lot of this stayed the same until we got to this part, and I'm going to explain why we had to change this. It's the holistic evaluation portion. When we did our first round, it was done alphabetically, and for reasons unbeknownst to all of us, the majority of our managers fell in the first half of the alphabet. So of 70 managers, 36 of them got evaluated in the first round.
Okay, let's do a survey right now. How many of people in this room of A through G? Okay, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. H through S. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. T through Z. I knew I was unique, but I didn't think I was that unique.
So, anyway, we're changing this to a third of the total will be done at any one time, and that way we get an even distribution, we hope. The second thing is we reduce, the second part, you can see here, we reduce the number of people we're gonna ask to complete the holistic evaluation. Being that this got so completely unruly to do out of my office, and we were not getting a response. It was very hard to manage. So we figured, and I talked to the Management Association, and they agreed that 5 from each category seemed to be a sufficient amount.
Everybody okay with that?
What do you mean you weren't getting responses?
Yeah, we weren't getting responses. We weren't getting enough people. We weren't getting up to 10. It was really hard for people to appoint that many.
Right.
And we also felt that we weren't getting, there are people who sent me emails saying, I don't even know who this manager is and I never interact with them. How am I going to do this evaluation?
But of those names that were sent to you, were you having a problem getting those people to respond? Or
Yes.
those
Yeah.
Because that's odd.
Yeah. So, and the managers thought that a 5 across from each of the groups was probably a sufficient amount. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And then, OAO press summary evaluation, yes, and we did all that. I'm not sure if the evaluations went out. I have a little difficulty with my office being responsible for employee evaluations. I believe this should all come out of HR, but we did assist. I don't know if HR actually sent out the summary evaluations. Someone would need to check on that, but I know they did get them. So those were the big changes.
Everybody okay with us moving that forward? So this is an AP, this one, right? So once we're okay with it, it becomes active.
Yes.
I did have a question, if it's appropriate time to ask. So Crystal, you indicated that of the 10, it was a struggle getting them all to participate. Would you say on average, was it at least 5 that participated? Is that why 5 is being the recommended number?
I can't say what exactly it was, it just seemed that 5 was a more reasonable number. Because you are then looking at a possibility of 15 people completing a holistic evaluation for one manager. And that seemed like a more reasonable number than 30.
Okay.
Dr. Foster.
I would say that that's probably true for most managers except the academic deans. So I went through this process. I solicited names for HR this last round, and when deans were up for evaluation, we got more than enough people wanting to evaluate. And it says up to 10. And previous to this AP, the whole division was able to evaluate their dean. I mean, we all got forms in our boxes. So I think, yeah, it's 5 isn't, for an instructional dean, I'm not sure if that's enough.
Dr. Judy.
To add to what Dr. Foster said, I'm concerned with the idea that it's 5 from each of the groups, because depending on the administrator, it might make more sense that you have, and I'll use the academic deans as an example, it would make more sense you get more input from faculty, because there may not even be 5 classified employees, but there will be many more
at least
than
5
faculty. And so it seems like that needs to be adjusted in ways depending on who's being evaluated. I mean, it also makes more sense from, well, even a VP, that there it's probably more on the administrative side, who are the people that they oversee. And so it just seems that whatever the role of the particular person is, that having 5, 5, 5 doesn't necessarily.
What was the group that put this together?
This was done with the Management Association and HR?
Oh.
Is that correct?
Yes.
You did get input from other groups?
We also were requested to provide 10 names for each manager.
No, I have a different question.
A different question.
So this was put together by the Management Association and HR. Did they seek input from the other governance group?
No, but that's what happens here.
Ah, okay, very good. Okay, so we're getting input right now. So
that's why there's information only as opposed to action.
So then what, Dr. Foster?
The only other issue too that I ran up, because our natural sciences division dean was up for evaluation, and a couple of the classified staff had not received any information regarding being on his evaluation. And so I know that was a problem coming from classified staff.
So well, my suggestion then is to, for each group present today, faculty, classified staff, confidentials, and any other groups, right? That they take that back to the review it with their respective constituents, and at our meeting in January or February, right, we'll reach some agreement on how we're going to handle it.
We don't meet until...
Well, that should be fine.
Well, we won't have our constituent input.
Well, no, but we'll continue the policy and the AR
Existing.
as the existing AR continues. The existing AR continues. AP, I'm sorry, AP. The existing AP continues until we get all your feedback, and then we fix it. All right? Is that okay?
Thank you. It's up to the Management Association. Are you okay with that?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm given the fact that it's only really principally from the faculty.
Okay.
I mean, I think that we should, talk about modifying that specific language in the case of academic
instructional
managers.
deans.
Yeah, instructional deans. The following shall apply, and I mean, I think it's a very easy fix, and
So we don't need to agendize it? Is that what you're telling me? Like you want to fix it?
Well, I would like to come back with language that was, addressing this issue specifically and go and run with that. If we have to increase the number for this particular group of managers, I'm fine. I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't think this needs to be agendized by the Academic Senate or the Classified Senate, but I think the Management Association should take it back and think it through and come back with another version.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. That's fine too. Yeah. I mean, I'll ask input from the other group. What do they think?
But just in response to Joe's question to me, I don't think it's just the academic deans that this is an issue. I mean, if you take classified managers, there it's probably less from faculty and more from classified and or other managers. And so I think you almost have to kind of look at a list of the positions you're talking about, and you'll see. I think you would see that you could. It just needs to be worded differently, I think, so that you have the right people giving input into the evaluation.
I think they hear you.
Well, I think let's hear from the constituents when they come back, and then we'll have the management take that information, work with HR, and redraft it.
I have a suggestion for the language. You could just designate a certain percentage of those working under the manager. Right, so if they're mostly classified working under the manager and you need 10% or 15% of their input, then it's, right?
Right, so when you come back, when you bring that information back to us, those will be the suggestions that have gone through your constituents, and then with
that's what Joe and the Management Association will take under consideration and make the revisions and bring it back.
Right, okay, all right, so that's what that will happen.
That's
okay, very good, all right. So Joe and
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Got it.
All right. Course adds and drops. Susan Bricker.
She's not here, but good news, I am.
And I can answer.
Okay. All right.
So I asked Susan to give me some clarification, and just because I wanted it to come from her, and basically what Susan had to do, because we had not reviewed this administrative procedure since 2004, I asked her, she went out and this is the current version, here is the revised one. She basically had to look at the league template, which had the required legal language. She looked at our current AP, and then she also looked at something else which we call our current practices, which didn't necessarily align with the league or our current AP, and she basically had to do a whole rewrite of this administrative procedure. So in your packet, you were given both the current version and her revised version. Her revised version takes a look at the legal requirements, what was in the AP, our current AP, and then what our current practices were, and she aligned them all up and put them into this revised version.
So could you have your groups review them? All right, and then we'll...
She also said that she put in here specifically updated language to remove references to discontinued printed materials and refer to online resources and where required to include PCC local processes such as petition processes. She also has, language has been added to explain the limitations on adds, drops, and withdrawals that resulted from changes to repeatability and withdrawal regulations that were implemented in, hold on, 2011. Thank God. We're here now, 2017. And finally, the definition of continuous enrollment for registration purposes has been changed to mirror the definition PCC uses for graduation and general education certification, specifically that a student must have been in attendance at least one semester, fall or spring, course during the academic year. Attendance is defined as being enrolled in at least one class on the census date of the class. The revised definition is compliance with state law, will streamline the registration priority process in the best interest of students, and will eliminate student confusion caused by two differing definitions of continuous enrollment.
Yes.
That's what she did.
All right, so you bring us back, take a look at it, review it with all your people and so on, especially the
This one does
two
need to go
senates.
out. You do
All
need
right.
to agendize this one, classified
All right.
academic.
And then just so you know, in 2011, the law that changed was in repeatability, if there are 3 unsuccessful enrollments, a student cannot repeat the course unless there's special circumstances.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Announcements.
I do want to announce, although I know these two are very familiar, that there is going to be a Here to Stay workshop.
What a here to stay?
Yeah, undocumented. I talked about it during
Oh,
my
okay.
report.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
I didn't know if it was announced. I was meeting with the presidential circuit.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, this Saturday, and encourage everybody to attend.
Very good. Happy holidays, everybody. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. We're adjourned.